So this is Oak Hill Cemetery, where I spend a lot of my time, and this has been a real place of inspiration for me. There are a number of poems in my book about Oak Hill Cemetery, so we thought we'd come out here to be in the right place for me to read some of these poems and maybe say something about them. First date, Oak Hill Cemetery. So what are you thinking as we walk together in the cemetery? That I might try to cross the gap between us, ask to hold your hand. I'm way ahead of you, past sleeping together, past getting married and making children and life stories. Further on, further. I see us in the ground together, in our shared grave, holding on to our love in the rich soil of Oak Hill. Oak Hill Cemetery, June 2002. Never enough time to walk in this old graveyard, thinking about their lives. Colonel Ulrich's last drink to his brave men who stood their ground and died. The widow mourning the love she'd lost, crying when she looked back on a life filled with grief. Annie married at 17. She tried to be a good wife. Carson dead at 26, with nothing on his grave to say why his life had been such a brief song. Mother dead in childbirth, 2 lives lost at once. All the lives and deaths unread. All the ones who knew that it was their time to die, who closed their eyes and went gently into that good night. This is called The Progress of Love, again set at the cemetery. Most summer nights she drives out to Oak Hill Cemetery with lawn chair in trunk and jar of iced tea. She likes to sit with him, and if he doesn't talk much, well, he never talked too much anyway. One time she'd asked him if he loved her, and he'd said, "Remember what I told you on our wedding day? If it's any different, I'll let you know." He'd never hurt her. He'd done his duties, never got drunk and rowdy, returned to his side of the bed if she asked. He'd been a good father to their son, who died in that stupid war. The way he'd say their son's name, if only he'd lit up like that with her. He'd taken to retirement like he'd taken to everything else, evenly. Old age was like evening time after a day's work, death like sleep, no more frightening than breakfast or an afternoon nap. At his grave on summer nights, sometimes she'd whisper, "Frank, I couldn't help loving you, you know. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon." So this is called Oak Hill Cemetery. I spend a lot of time here, and I have the sense that I can sometimes hear what the spirits here are saying, and this is what I thought I heard one time. So it's called just Oak Hill Cemetery. Save a life, my friend, savor it. I did not, and it was snatched from me by an angry God. What I missed most? Sadness, because then, more than ever, I knew I was alive. You consider yourself immortal, like many other fools. Those bones inside you, where else can they sleep in the end, but in the ground? Make them dance while the music plays. Make them dance. This is called First Snow. I stayed up late, watching snowflakes fall, writing haiku. Then I went to sleep, dreamt of snow covering me in Oak Hill Cemetery like a warm white shroud.